Welcome to Kingdom Hearts 3, the incorrectly named 11th game in the series. Or something like that, I'm not even sure. After doing my due diligence of absorbing the game's intro and bounding through the options menu to make sure everything is working as intended, I began my journey by getting lost in the memories of Kingdom Hearts past. You know, since we've got story reviews to watch and everything. Once again, I was reminded of how much I love this world and its stories, as convoluted as it may be.
I'm glad I got to meet you.
No, I'm not crying. You're crying. These story summaries turned out to be an excellent way to review everything I'd played or watched of the series. Though I couldn't help but notice that Kingdom Hearts 2, the crowd favorite of the series, seems to have had some of the least impact on the overall story. Tragic. Now that I was finished with my review, it was time to finally begin. I started the game and proceeded to watch the real cinematic intro. You can tell because it's prettier. Then, as expected, I fell gracefully from the sky onto a giant stained glass window. After spending far more time admiring myself in the mirror than I'd care to admit, I realized my reflection had actually been admiring me. It dissolved in embarrassment once I figured it out, though. I was now faced with countless memories from the past. Like the exceptionally specialized man that I am, I picked balance because I wanted to try everything. Then I was shown a few more scenes from previous games, and after much deliberation chose Guardian, since that's what I picked during my last playthrough of the first game. Of course, then I was faced with every D&D player's worst nightmare. After second guessing myself, I decided to change nothing about my Zootopia reference and chose magic instead, cause blowing stuff up sounded like fun. My selection now complete, my family photos disappeared before my eyes, only for me to realize that I had left the tap running again. Now, normal people may have run away from that mistake, but of course I ran towards the danger because I'm a brave boy. After splashing around in a Kingdom Hearts 1 reference, I emerged to find myself facing another familiar sight. The Skyward Sword final boss arena? I had to make sure I was playing the right game, but was very relieved when the Heartless finally showed up. I stopped to tie my shoes and was greeted by a Lovecraftian wannabe. I had to give him several slaps on the wrist for tying my shoes together earlier, which allowed me to learn my first two spells. After waking up from the dream where it felt like I was falling, Master Yen Sid told me that I was way too weak. So he sent me off with my noble bodyguards to find someone who's just better than me, I guess. Cause we forgot the GPS, we had no idea where we were going.
Sorry, I got nothing.
Thankfully, I remembered that space travel doesn't work unless you put the key in the ignition. And now we can finally and officially begin our journey into Kingdom Hearts 3. Okay, game, calling me a liar like that. Having successfully made it to our destination and briefly trading the fourth wall as a story-based fact, I made the most gamer-based decision possible.
Up is the usual direction.
And we began our journey in earnest. Thankfully, it turns out that gravity is largely optional, so that made scaling the mountain much easier than I expected. Of course, having finally thought I'd made some progress, Goofy decided to share his opinion. The joke was on him though, cause the game told me exactly where I was. Oh hey, it's everyone's favorite Disney villain.
It's just you. Oy vey.
Well, that's a little hurtful. See if I give you a compliment again. Having grown tired of me asking for his autograph, Hades decided to reveal his spectacularly inspired plan of re-releasing the Titans we've already fought multiple times in the past. How original. We were blown away by how unique his evil plot was this time. Little did he know I anticipated this and flew directly into the arms of the man we were looking for.
See, found him.
Yeah, I guess this counts.
Of course, Herc was very impressed with my traveling solutions, and so we joined together to help save Thebes from Hades' nefarious plot. Oh, and an hour and a half into my recording, I've reached the first save point. No, that's not a slight against the game. I explore way too much. Just like how there's plenty of content for you to explore if you like and subscribe. Of course, I was a bit confused as to where to go after saving, but thankfully they gave me another cutscene after walking for about 5 steps. I remembered that I needed to tell Hercules about how I was forced to be level 1 again for the sake of the next game, but he couldn't relate.
That's tough.
Unfortunately, our heart-to-heart was rudely interrupted by the first encounter outside of the tutorial. Once we handled that issue, we were cutscene jump-scared once again by Meg and Phil, who was uncharacteristically silent about the whole thing. Pretty sure he was just nervous, though. I am a pretty big deal now. We needed to move as fast as possible, so Herc wisely decided that the best course to save a little girl who was on the edge of a cliff was to throw us on top of a giant stone statue with as much power as he could muster. No, I'm not kidding. That actually happened. He was very proud of himself for that idea too. One unexplained rescue later, the cinematics continued to flow as more villains decided to conveniently show up in front of us to spoil their plans to go find a geocache or something. It's probably not important.
Be silent, you fool!
Wait, is this my chance? My time to move freely? Wonderful. 'Tis time to proceed with my ultimate plan, to unnecessarily explore absolutely everything. With my newfound freedom in hand, I proceeded to bounce around until, you guessed it, my next cinematic. This one was a mob intro though, so it's fine. This is where I got to exercise my ability to discern that throwing a bucket of water on an enemy sporting fiery eyebrows is really effective. Unfortunately, the eyebrows had done their best to spread their style to the rest of the scenery, but that didn't stop me from walking straight into it.
Out!
Well, that'll learn me. So what's the most logical course of action? Oh yeah, why didn't I think of that? We continued deeper into the city, eradicating any Heartless that stood against us. Thankfully, we were able to save everyone we came across and were thanked with useful gifts, which may or may not have become a greater incentive for me to rescue more civilians, who's to say. It was at this point that I realized perhaps I should take this a bit more seriously, as the world simply demanded I pay attention to its magnificence.
Gosh, I hope they got insurance.
Why is Goofy always funnier than me? We continued on and encountered yet another civilian in danger, who was very unimpressed with our arrival. Thankfully, I solved the misunderstanding by turning Goofy into a high-yield ballistic missile. We celebrated our victory with some minor vandalism against Achilles, which conveniently gave us access to some more treasure. Having proven myself to be the strongest when facing inanimate objects, I was confident that the city was safe. I have always wanted to play Kingdom Hearts 3 since the moment it was announced, but I had no way to play it without the consoles. Then 2019 came along, which gave me access to the entire series I had longed to play. Mostly. It was only recently that I decided to get all of it thanks to a massive Christmas sale on Epic. I hope you'll join me as I travel through these beautifully crafted worlds. Kingdom Hearts is one of my favorite series, and I am also tragically bad at it. If I've already uploaded more Kingdom Hearts videos, check out the videos on the right. Until next time, I love you, may God bless and keep you, and I pray you have a wonderful day.
You're so kind. Keep training, and one day you'll be great heroes just like Hercules.